How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Before I Forget. This is my YouTube channel inspired by my Instagram channel, 1985 Road Dog. If you haven't checked that Instagram out, check it out. It's a lot of my photographs of my time in music as a fan and as somebody that worked in the music business. I'm going to talk a little bit about stars versus celebrities. Golden age. The 70s and the 80s into the 90s were probably the golden age of rock stars. 60s, it's when it started, but it was still not really defined what a rock star was in the 60s. You had the Beatles. They really weren't rock stars. The Beatles were pop stars. They were so big. The Beatles were like, it was like a thing unto itself. Stones, Mick Jagger became a rock star in the 70s, but in the 60s, he was a pop star. So really the 70s and the 80s, you had the emergence of the rock star, the David Bowies, the Elton Johns, of course, the Stones. McCartney was solo in the 70s. Lennon, all the Beatles were solo in the 70s. By that time, Hendrix, Joplin, Morrison were all dead by early 71. So, you had the emergence of the newer 70s bands like Aerosmith, of course, Fleetwood Mac. Fleetwood Mac in the 70s were like serious rock stars, the best drugs, the best of everything, used to being treated a certain way, moving around the world on private planes and things like this. That's when it all started. 72, the Rolling Stones, I think might have been the first band to ever have like an airplane, like a private, their own plane. The Stones with, and that was 72. And then after that, everybody started using private planes. Alice Cooper, we're not talking little planes either. We're talking big planes, Starship, the plane was called. It was, I don't know if it was a 727. I don't know how big it was, but it was a big plane. Elton John, of course, Led Zeppelin. That was when the rock stars started happening. And the interesting thing is, it's completely different from a celebrity, what a celebrity is today. Anybody that's big in music today, I don't care who they are, of the newer breed, they're celebrities. They're not rock stars. They want to be rock stars, but they can't. There's no way they can be because it's just a different world. The fact that all these people and bands and artists that are, they invite artists that let people get up on stage and jam with them. That's like the thing now. Oh, we're going to get somebody from the audience and they're going to play guitar or play drums. It's just like the stage is not sacred anymore. In the golden days, in the 70s and 80s, nobody went on the stage. It just didn't happen. I'm not talking about people in the wings or friends of the band or whatever on the stage. I'm talking about the audience was never allowed on the stage. If somebody jumped up on the stage at a show in the 70s or 80s, you'd get pummeled. You'd get cracked over the head and with a mag light and thrown to the side. It was vicious. It was a sacred place, the stage. Only the rock stars were allowed on the stage. Today, I don't care how big the star is. It doesn't matter. They invite people up on stage and sing with them. It's just like there's no more separation with the audience and the star. There is, and then social media has got everything all out of whack, really, and what's big and what's not and what's popular. It's completely based on, nothing. But back in those days, man, the rock star, when you saw Kiss on stage in the 70s, nobody was allowed to get up on the stage. That was for the rock star, If somebody jumped up on the stage, and the bands weren't inviting people up on the stage like today. Come on up, and yes, we're with the people now, so we're going to get someone from the audience to jam with us. It's just like it's completely different. So there's no more rock stars. There's celebrities. But yeah, man, it was the gulf, the space between the audience and the stage. I don't care if you were first row at a concert. When you went to see, you know, Kiss in 1977, or you know, Aerosmith in that peak period, or anybody, Van Halen, it didn't matter. If you were first row, the distance between you and the stage seemed like, you know, miles. And you know, it's not like that anymore. My cat's going nuts over there. So it's just something that, you know, I've noticed. This inviting fans on stage to play a song with the band and all this kind of stuff. You had never seen any of those great bands. Even Motley Crue, Rat, you know, Iron Maiden, anybody in the 70s and 80s. No one got on the stage. That was sacred place. You know, and it's not like that anymore. The stage is not a sacred place. The stage is like whatever. It's a lot different. That's really been, you know, I've been noticing that a lot lately. It's a trend. It's a thing. So yeah, man. 70s, 80s, into the 90s, and then it's, you know. But I tell you, you go to see the Rolling Stones, there's nobody jumping up on stage with the Rolling Stones unless they're invited. And if they're invited, they're a known musician. They're not bringing unknown fans up on stage to sing with the Rolling Stones. That's never going to happen, because the Rolling Stones are the ultimate rock stars. Anyway, that's all I got for you right now. That's my rant on rock stars versus celebrities. Hope you're well. Speak to you soon. Thanks for tuning in. 1985 Road Dog. Ciao.